Before we talk about spoiler, just a quick spoiler-free thoughts. Elder Epoch, book 3 in the Gunmetal God saga, is wild. A lot of stuff is happening, and it's going to get nasty. Hey everyone, welcome back. Fina here from Fina Reads. Today with the review for Elder Epoch, which is book 3 in the Gunmetal God saga. I will not even bother with spoiler-free stuff anymore, because if you've read book 1 and book 2 but haven't read book 3 yet, what are you even doing, people? Go read the book and then come back and watch the spoiler discussion. If you've read the book, stick around because I want to talk with you about it. So much stuff has happened here. And first of all, I need to get it off my chest. And then second of all, you need to tell me what you were thinking. How did you experience the book? How wild was it for you? So let's get started. The first thing that I need to address is the gore level in this book. And I'm not just talking about the blood cloud itself. Food with ears. We don't even need to go there. But I'm also talking about the battle scenes. For example, when Sarah was battling the Elenians and all the horse slaughter. It was a lot. I'm not a body gore horror book reader, so there was a lot going on for me. That also resulted in me reading the book rather slowly, even though it is not a slow-paced book and not a dense book by any means. But these scenes, specifically in the blood cloud with, a metallic taste on your tongue and blood pooling in your eyes and whatnot, it just, I needed to take a break every now and then because it was so heavy, so oppressive. I mean, that's a big kudos to the author, right? The fact that I was sitting there and literally tasting the blood on my tongue while I was reading about the POVs that were in the blood cloud, that tells you a lot already. Characters too, also very interesting. Keva. Boy, does this guy start to annoy me. I know that's on purpose, and I know he's supposed to be that fanatic, righteous guy, and that is loyal to an extent that is not healthy anymore, to a point where he didn't even see that all the scheming was going on around him. While I was getting more and more annoyed the more I read about him, I thought, this is so well done. It's kind of this weird balance, similar with the Gore, right? It's this weird balance of, well, I really don't want to read about it, but boy, is this written very well. That it can make me feel this to an extreme. He really needs to take a break and think a little bit. Sarah, on the other hand, I was not as excited about her POV. What I loved in Conqueror's Blood about her was kind of this, hey, she is kind of that shy wallflower to then turn in this self-centered little bee. I mean, she's still very self-centered in Elder Epoch, but I feel you don't get to see that as much anymore. She's kind of just more a puzzle piece to move certain stories forward, and it's like her depth is kind of missing for me at least. And the other part that I didn't like too much, a lot of her side characters like Celine. What was her point, really? She was there. She was cute. A conversation point between her and her husband. But other than that, I felt Celine was pointless. And there were a couple of others, too, where I was just sitting there like, why are you even here? And then our third POV, Basil, probably. I really liked him, though. I loved his analytical approach, his rather calm demeanor, actually, throughout the entire thing. I mean, you have to think about it, right? He was through the blood cloud, thrown into the future, and all of a sudden realized, like, okay, all of our families are dead. No one is there anymore. There's nowhere we can go. And somehow he figures out how this world works, which fraction he can play against each other or align with, and then change his loyalty depending on what the current situation is. So this whole very analytical part of him, I totally enjoyed, and I loved watching this. By the way, short scroll thought. If you enjoy Gunmetal Gods as a series, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, because Gunmetal Gods is definitely one of my favorite series out there. So there's more content around the series, and I'd love to talk with you about it. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my channel as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Talking about political scheming, the whole storyline. So first of all, the whole book is less character deep dive analysis. We still get a little bit of that, but not a whole lot. It's really more all the chess pieces are now put in place through book 1 and 2, and now we're seeing how the strategies that all of those little chess pieces picked, how these strategies are playing out. You get to see the bigger picture. You start to see how some things align. You get some of the connections. You see the fallout of some of the decisions that have been made. So in that sense, this this book is fantastic because it moves a lot of things forward, and it, for me at least, answered a bunch of questions that I had as I was reading book 1 and 2 and showed really how things are connected and aligned. One of the things that I really enjoyed is the political scheming in this book. Unbelievable. Every single character, how they interacted with each of the fractions, how they built alliances or not, what decision they made, and what the results of these decisions were then from the alliance's perspective. So well done and so enjoyable to watch. Also, I really appreciated what I think at least is a nod to real history, Hannibal and his war elephants, how he went over the Alps to attack Rome. Obviously in the story it's Babur and his war elephants, so I thought it was kind of a neat thing. And then lastly, how can I not talk about gods, angels, magical system, death, what makes the series fantasy? Because boy, Elder Epoch is exploding in that sense. The star writing, we get a lot more about that. We get to see the actual angels, and those are wild. That whole in the blood cloud where you just see pieces of them or hear pieces of them, to then when the blood cloud is gone and you see that big angel over there, you're like, what the hell is happening? I don't want to look across the veil. I'm good. There's your eldritch horror in this book. I mean, on a whole new level. Book 1 and 2, boring compared to that. I loved it. I loved it a lot. And again, I love this whole backstory on those angels are soul seas, right? And they're eating this up, and then you basically live forever as one big soul. And I cannot wait to get even deeper into this whole system, especially, you know, Elder Epoch started to explain this whole jinn versus angels and how those are two separate fractions and how they don't like each other and all that stuff. So I really hope we get more as the series progresses and ends eventually, and see, so what's on top of that, right? What's behind it? Where do we go? Especially knowing that there was a very short scene with that whole island where they come out of the ocean and climb a mountain or something. I really hope we get more about that and what that has all to do with the egg and the angels and the jinn and the death and, you know, all that kind of stuff. The more I talk about it, it's so fascinating. As I was prepping for the video and the more I'm talking about it, I'm actually realizing how much stuff was actually happening in this book. This series is wild. You have the puny humans, you have the mighty jinns, you have the whatever angels are, I'm not quite sure. But all of these aspects that are coming together, it's just so well done and it's so enjoyable to read. And if you're a visual reader like me, there's a lot going on in your mind cinema, basically. And it's just a lot of fun to read. While this is not my favorite book in the series, that's definitely Conqueror's Blood, because I am a character motivation lover. I still loved Elder Epoch. How about you? I mean, you watched the video till now, so I assume you've read the book. So let me know down in the comments, what did you enjoy? What did you think about certain decisions that were made, certain characters, how their story progressed? Talk to me. As you can see, I want to talk about this book, and I need to talk about this book. It's just so good. And then, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel because review of book 4 is coming soon. And then, just in case you want to check it out, I also have a spoiler-filled review for Conqueror's Blood, which is book 2. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, you're welcome to check that video out. And with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and that I'll see you soon with another video.